Welcome to Unexplored, the channel where I present you the most fascinating places around the world. Today we are in Warsaw, Poland. With its metropolitan population of over 3.2 million people, it is not only Poland's capital city, but also by far its largest city. Without further ado, here are the most interesting things to see in Warsaw. First up, we got the Royal Route. This pedestrian street connects the Old Town with the Wilanow Quarter. While you're on your way to the Old Town, you can admire the impressive architecture and stop on the way to see some interesting sights, such as the Holy Cross Church. This Baroque church was built in the 17th century and is definitely worth a visit. It is said that the heart of the famous composer Chopin was buried inside the church. On top of that, the church has no entry fee, so you should definitely check it out while you're in the city. Another interesting place is the Presidential Palace. This neoclassical building dates back to 1818. Unfortunately though, it cannot be visited by the public. The Old Town. Warsaw's Old Town is a beautiful collection of buildings dating as far back as the 17th century, when the Polish capital was moved from Krakow to Warsaw. The buildings you see nowadays have been reconstructed carefully because Warsaw was completely destroyed during World War II. Inside the Old Town there are some very notable sites, such as the Royal Castle. The Royal Castle dates back to the 14th century, while it was repaired and extended several times during its history. While it served as the seat of the royals and parliament, today it is a museum worth checking out. Another important site is the St. John's Arch Cathedral. This grand Gothic cathedral dates back to the 14th century. Inside you can admire the impressive interiors. While entry is free of charge, you can visit the crypts where important Polish dukes and other statesmen have been buried for a small fee. Finally, we have the Barbican Fortress. This fortress was erected in the year 1540 and used to delimit the city from its surroundings. These remains give you a small idea of how much the city has grown over the past centuries. The Fryderyk Chopin Museum. This museum is dedicated to the most famous Polish compositor Fryderyk Chopin. This museum operates since 1954 and is a must for all those who love classical music and want to know more about Chopin. Inside you will learn more about his life, works, and see some of his personal belongings. Next up, we've got the Wilanow Palace. This impressive Baroque palace was built in 1696 for the famous Polish king Jan I Sobieski, who used it as his personal residence. Nowadays it is an art museum and you should definitely visit this place. Next up, we've got the Palace of Culture. This colossal Stalinist building sits at an impressive 237 meters and was built in 1955 as a gift by the Soviet Union to Communist Poland. While locals have mixed feelings about the structure, as some like it and others feel reminded of the repressive communist regime, it is nevertheless a sight to behold. You can take the elevator to the 30th floor and enjoy the Polish skyline. My personal recommendation, however, is to go at night because the views from up there are more impressive. If you had enough of the hustle and bustle of the city, you can visit the Łazienki Park. With its 76 hectares, it is the largest park of the city. Strolling through the park, you will notice a palace in the middle of an island. This neoclassical building dates back to the 17th century and was used as a bathhouse. Today, however, this beautiful building hosts a nice collection of arts. Finally, we've got the Polin Museum. This museum is a must when visiting Warsaw as it showcases the history of Jews in Poland. In front of the museum you can see a memorial to the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising of 1943, which commemorates the victims of that tragic event. Inside the museum you can learn more about the over 1,000 years of Jewish history in the Polish lands. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to subscribe, like and hit the notification bell in order to not miss any future videos, and see you next time.